3, 2, 1.
Hey, buddy. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast that is almost certainly never a main event and definitely not an undercard. It's way back in the dark bleachers. Welcome to the Red Hot Underdogs. How are you, Mr. AnzaK?
Have you said that before, that intro before, or
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe not.
yeah,
I don't know. We've done that many shows over the course. There's going to be
yeah,
one or two that sort
same.
of sneakily get repeated, you know. It's like a comedian.
I think you said we're
They'll
not
say a
the
few
main event.
jokes here and there that'll bloody creep back into the
I think you
repertoire.
said we're not the main event. We're like cockroaches on the floor or something. But in the
Something like that.
in the bleachers, it's another one.
Yeah,
Merry
yeah,
Christmas.
that's right.
Christmas is on its way. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Same cake, just with a different cherry on top. So today we're going to actually dive into Aussie boxing and the state of the game in Aussie boxing right now. Last week we had Jai Opetaia fighting. Now, for the longest time, we've actually referred to him as Jai Opetaia, as have a lot of people, so we're not alone soldiering that. It's actually Opetaia, would you believe?
Right. Look, can you? So who are we going to talk about? Like, just so we're going to do Jai, the
Tim
Tszyu,
Tszyu and Nikita Tszyu. And if we have time, we might have time for that god-awful circus fight of Anthony Joshua and Fake Paul.
Well, we will have time because I really want to talk about that. We got to make time.
We'll make time. But let me tell you, it'll be well and truly at the dirtiest arse end of this podcast. But without further ado, we'll get into Jai Opetaia, who actually had a victory last week. I'm not going to say it was his best performance because here on the Red Hot Underdogs, we don't sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
The longest time he's been highly hyped, and rightly so. Yeah. He moves to 29 wins, no losses, and 23 wins via KO. So, very good record.
Huge record. Huge.
Yeah.
And well, let's talk about Jai. You know, are we the only ones that love him? Sometimes I think so, you know.
He's still Australia's premier boxer, but unfortunately, the boxing media and the casual fans are there constantly 100% to sniff Tim and Nikita Tszyu's underwear at any opportunity possible, to sniff their farts, to smell the seat they've been sitting on. They just get all the love, let me tell you.
How is Jai winning his 29 fight, which was a decent opponent, not a decent opponent, a great opponent, a good lots to talk about. How is that getting less media coverage than Tim Tszyu changing his coach? After losing 3 or 4 times in a row, how does Tim Tszyu find his way to people's smartphones more than Jai's win?
It all comes down to the push for Tim Tszyu to be Australia's golden boy. Now, that's the problem with the Australian media and the Australian boxing media. They're actually pushing the wrong barrow. Yeah. So you have a guy that you want to be the main attraction.
Wait. Pushing the wrong wheelbarrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Because let me tell you, they're wanting this guy to be the belle of the ball, but he shouldn't be. Sometimes the person you want to be the main attraction shouldn't be. Yeah. You should go for the one with the best prospects and the best ability and the best credentials. And that's not Tim and that's not Nikita. But
it's not just not, it's far not. Do you know?
No.
Like if you put them, you know, scale 1 to 10, you know, and you know, Jai would be up there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, he's got to be 10. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, he's Australia's best boxer by far.
Yeah.
I will get onto Tim and Nikita. Getting onto Jai's fight, he did beat Hussein Sin Cara, who drops to 23 wins and 1 loss. He was undefeated coming into this.
Yeah.
For the record, Jai actually did get buzzed in the second round. It wasn't a horrendous buzzing. He wasn't like completely wobbly all over the place, but it was noticeable.
Yeah.
And everybody did notice it. He did have a slight little stumble here and held on for a little bit. Didn't take too long to clear his head, but it is a good reminder that at any time, no matter how good you are, no matter how credentialed you are, it is the shot that you don't see that can cause damage, and everyone else is still always clear and present danger.
And is that good for Jai? You know, we heard.
I think it's
yeah.
I think it's fantastic for Jai. Not only does it keep him sharp, but also in the minds of other fighters who may or may not be avoiding him. Very skeptical. A lot of people believe that a lot of fighters are avoiding him.
Yeah.
Ironically, if he doesn't look so good or shows a few vulnerabilities or chinks in the armor, all of a sudden he has a few people going, you know what? I might take on Jai Opetaia. He looks easier than I thought.
I'll be watching that second round when he got hit and thinking, I can do that, you know?
Yeah. I can exploit it.
Yeah.
100%. Unfortunately, though, I will say for the Opetaia situation, it's been a very frustrating journey at the present time for him because he does want to unify the cruiserweight division before he moves up to heavyweight. I think that's an extremely good idea.
And your mate Usyk did that, you know?
He absolutely did. Holyfield did it. A whole lot of good fighters have done it. Now, I think that it's not only awesome for his development, I think it's too soon for heavyweight, but I think if he goes through the cruiserweight division and collects all the belts, that is a great platform for stepping up there. Needless to say, it won't be particularly easy to do that. I'm not going to say life doesn't come with any guarantees, but it's exciting to know Australia has a guy that has the potential to do that.
I mean, there's nothing to say it. Like he will do that as well, but like
correct,
like he might just get the cruiserweight and just you know be happy with that. And why is there so much less interest on cruiserweight than heavyweight? I'm kind of asking that question. It's quite obvious that answer, you know.
It is quite obvious.
Night and day.
Listen. We've had moments in boxing where certain divisions, which aren't the heavyweight division, in moments where the heavyweight division hasn't been so great, we've had other divisions that have been the glamour division, but when heavyweight is stacked with very good fighters, it doesn't matter what division you put up against it, heavyweight will always be the glamour division.
Yeah.
No matter even if you've had past stars like Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather, when you've got a good heavyweight division, it is number one. It is the glamour division.
It's because the little guys can't knock each other out, you know. Well, when I say can't, it happens much more rarely.
But it's less spectacular than watching a big 6'5" or 6'6", 6'7" bopper hitting the canvas or getting knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate for sports fans.
Look at your eyes light up when he said that, mate. This guy hitting the canvas, you know, all this.
Oh, mate, I want to see him all kinds of fucked up. I got blood running off my chin when I see that. That's what makes me a fight fan. I want them to go home to their family well and in one piece, don't get me wrong. I don't want them drinking their food through a straw for the next year.
Yeah.
But I love the chaos.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One other thing. So Jai Opetaia is promoted by Tasman Fighters. At one point, he was promoted by Eddie Hearn over at DAZN. That's also hurt his brand to a certain extent in securing the big fights because the other night he was shown on Stan of all platforms.
Yeah.
And internationally, they weren't able to watch him. We were just able to watch him here. So there's also been a little bit of mismanagement in the Opetaia camp.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's that's a sign of the times too. Like that you've got these Stan and Netflix and KO all competing for sporting events and live sporting events, because there's not many things left in this world that will make a person watch a TV at a certain time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we grew up with TV, and 6 o'clock you'd watch The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You'd look at them. It's morning time on a Sunday. You'd get up and you'd watch your cartoons. You'd watch Dungeons and Dragons. I know it's ridiculous, but that doesn't happen anymore.
Too many options out there. Too many visual options, streaming services, platforms, channels, networks.
Not everybody has Stan. And then is it an extra amount of money to watch the Jai fight, even if you've got Stan?
Yeah. And I don't know, but you've probably got to join. Obviously, you got to join Stan in order to watch the fight. And Stan is just a very obscure platform to have the fight on. So
it's not one of the big dogs. Like I think the Premier League on Stan for a bit. I don't think they got it anymore. But then they're not one of the big ones,
I mean, that's one piece of the pie. Why his mismanagement doesn't help. It's not the biggest thing, but however, I will point out this: tomorrow there is a major fight which is kind of key in Jai Opetaia potentially gaining all the belts and unifying the Cruiserweight division. So tomorrow you got Badu Jack versus Noel Mikhailian. Now, Badu Jack actually holds a couple of belts. No, actually, he holds one belt. He holds the WBC belt. So, actually, what will happen tomorrow is, I dare say that Jai Opetaia and anyone who follows him will be hoping that Badu Jack beats Mikhailian, and then, obviously, Jai Opetaia can then go on and fight Badu Jack for the WBC Cruiserweight belt.
Great name, Badu Jack.
Badu, yeah. Badou, Badu Jack.
I know this is Aussie boxing, but tell us a little bit about that fight, who they are, why is this good for Australia, for Jai, Badu Jack? It sounds like, like this, he needs to be wearing this hat.
He should. He's a
Jackaroo. Badu Jack Peru. Is that what they go? Yeah, and it's Badu Jack, the Jackaroo. Yes? No. Okay.
Badu Jack, the Black Swede. There you go. So
he's Black Swede.
He represents Sweden. But listen, he fought on May the 3rd against Mikhailian earlier this year. Now, that really shouldn't have been a rematch. The only people who were unhappy with the result were the Mikhailian fans. Now, if there wasn't a rematch, we could have been seeing Opetaia versus Badu Jack in the near future.
Yeah.
Why I'd like to, and in that fight, it was a very close fight. Jack won 115, 113 on 2 cards, and one of the cards was 114 even. So it was a majority decision, close fight. Most pundits and analysts believe that Jack won a close decision. Nobody wanted to see it again apart from Mikhailian's camp. They bid for a rematch. Their appeal got accepted, which is a bit of a bugger. The reason why it's important for Jack to win is if Mikhailian wins, then Badu Jack might go, well, hang on, I should have been fighting Opetaia the first time and you appealed it and then you got the go. Why do you get to fight him now when it's 1-1? Yeah. So we don't want to see it go to a third fight.
Yeah.
There is the other opportunity where maybe Mikhailian then goes and fights Opetaia, but I'd rather take the safer option and then just have Jack win and then take that other option completely out of the equation.
Oh, yeah, a third fight thing. You don't want
take that completely out of the equation so it doesn't mess up any plans for Opetaia to potentially fight for the WBC belt. The other thing that is holding up the works is Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, who holds the WBA and WBO belts. Now, if Opetaia was to win the WBC and then win the WBA and WBO by beating Ramirez, and he holds all the belts, then eventually we could then see him move up to heavyweight. The only problem with that is we actually have David Benavidez moving up from light heavyweight to fight Ramirez for the WBA and WBO belts. So they'll actually be fighting on May the 2nd next year, Ramirez and Benavidez.
God, all that, like, I know it was interesting, but you know, LMNOPs, QRS, TU, WXN, it sounds awfully confusing, but sum it up, you want this Jackaroo guy to win.
Yes, but that's right. The only other thing standing in Opetaia's way is the Benavidez and Ramirez fight next year on May the 2nd, which is on the Mexican holiday weekend.
A long time away.
I know, and that's part of the frustration too. Now, Ramirez took Benavidez because Benavidez is a much bigger name than Opetaia, so there's more money involved in it. Benavidez only moved up because in the light heavyweight division, Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev were about to fight for a third time to settle that. They're one apiece. And Benavidez didn't want to wait for Bivol and Beterbiev fight. Bivol actually holds all of the belts at light heavyweight. Oh, no, he doesn't. He holds the IBF, WBA, IBO, and WBO. Benavidez holds the WBC at light heavyweight. Okay. It's all very confusing. Anyway.
Let's just stop there. It's confusing. But I'm sure some people are listening and understand. But a lot went over my head. I just want to see Jai Opetaia knock some guys out. And you know what? Yeah. In his very simple exchanges with media, he's like that too. It's just like, mate, I just want to knock the next guy out in front of me. That's it.
Correct. In short, cut out all the jargon and bullshit, here's what we want.
Yeah.
We like Badu Jack to win. Yeah. We like Opetaia to beat Badu Jack.
Yes.
And then fight the winner of Ramirez and Benavidez.
You don't care who wins out of those two, do you?
It's a difficult situation because there is a chance that Benavidez wins at Cruiserweight against Ramirez, wins his belt, waits for the Beterbiev-Bivol fight, and then fights the winner of that in light heavyweight and moves back down to light heavyweight.
Oh, so Jai'd miss, you know, like it's...
Well, they might then have to fight for a vacant belt. The problem is Benavidez could stay at Cruiserweight and fight Jai Opetaia, but money talks, and Bivol and Beterbiev are bigger names than Jai Opetaia.
Yeah.
On the flip side, if Ramirez loses and Benavidez moves back down, then I guess the belt is vacant and Jai gets the next shot at whoever.
Yeah.
It's all very confusing. It's a really precarious situation. It's just not straightforward at all for Opetaia.
Yeah.
A number of moving parts, plenty of them. I think the bottom line comes with the fact that he just needs to keep winning.
Yes. Yeah, well, and that's a simple one too. He just needs to keep knocking about. All right. So just a little bit more, not on any of that WBC's element. Do you think that Jai is a little bit like how Usyk was when Usyk cleaned up the cruiserweights? Because Usyk wasn't and still isn't, you know, a golden boy.
No, neither guy is particularly media savvy. Neither of them has a great deal of charisma. They're all about the business of winning.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I actually think that Jai Opetaia has a lot more charisma than Usyk. Usyk's about as interesting as a bloody house brick when you talk to him.
Yeah.
A couple of words here and there the odd humorous line or attempted humorous line.
Yeah.
But by and large, it's just like eating brown bread with nothing on it.
Yeah.
Opetaia at least has a bit of salami and mustard on top.
Yeah, bit of salami. I love salami. Do you like salami?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind a bit of salami. You enjoyed a bit of salami back in your day, I reckon, up in the cross.
Jesus.
I reckon you've hidden out in the closet a few times.
Yeah. Anyway,
but
yeah. Okay, yeah. So let's watch this thing tomorrow. I'm keen to watch the guy Hit the Road Jack. I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
The Road Jack. He doesn't come out to that song Hit the Road Jack, right? No.
But he could. It would be a good theme.
It's a great song.
But now
it's a great song.
It is. So
that's kind of saying he should hit the road though, because he's Jack. So maybe it's not a good idea.
Maybe it's not a good idea. Yeah. Maybe Jumping Jack Flash would be a good one.
Jumping Jack Flash.
Flash. It's a gas.
Gas.
So
if losers, they can play Hit the Road Jack.
Correct. I think that's good. There you go. Badu Jack Camp, you're welcome with your intro and your outro.
Welcome.
As for Jai Opetaia, just keep winning and the rest should take care of itself.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll move on to the other guy that everybody sniffs his ass like a dog in the park.
Yeah.
Mr. Tim Tszyu, Australian's golden boy, even when he's not so golden, but I think he's lost a bit of that luster.
Yeah.
Having lost 3 of his last 4 fights, he's now actually changed his ring name from the Soul Taker to Tim the Phoenix Tszyu.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Hang on, say that again. Yes. So he was the Soul Taker, but because he missed out on taking a few souls, he's the Phoenix. That mythical bird thing. Yeah.
I think the whole theory behind that is rising from the ashes, rising from the adversity.
That's right.
Because let's face it, you can't exactly walk around when you've had your soul taken as the soul taker when you've lost 3 of your last 4 and 2 by knockout.
Yeah.
You can no longer be the soul taker. People going, this guy, 3 of his last 4, he's the soul taker. You can't really be doing that.
Yeah, no, actually, that's good marketing. Right? One thing he's got marketability. He's very marketable, and I just couldn't believe it. I know I touched on it before, that my phone sends me information about Tim changing his camp and how he's going to mess up the next guy next week. But it doesn't send me stuff about Jai Opetaia winning.
Yeah, it's crazy. And listen, that's a frustration we're all going to have to deal with until Jai Opetaia wins a few more belts. When he wins a few more belts, I think maybe, still no guarantee, because like the media just can't get their head out of the Tszyu arse, let's be honest. But maybe if Opetaia keeps winning and wins a few more belts, even unifies, then finally he might get his well-deserved flowers. But sticking on to Tim Tszyu, 25 wins and 3 losses. He's going to fight Anthony Velasquez. Who's 18 wins, no losses and 1 draw.
So is he a worthy opponent?
Is a worthy opponent, but I think at this stage, let's not get too high on Tim Tszyu. It's very much a rebuilding phase, and one thing that the media hasn't covered, which here on the Red Hot Underdogs, because we expose everything, we'll cover the great big elephant and silent part in the room. The one draw that Anthony Velasquez had was against a guy called Rashid Stevens, and Stevens had a record of 6 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws. So to have a draw against that guy, it kind of tells you a lot about the opponent that Tim Tszyu is fighting. Now, I've got no problem with it. It's a slow crawl back. Now, let's face it. As much fanfare as the media and fans want to give Tim Tszyu, it is his absolute last throw of the dice, last drinks, because he's 31 years old.
Yeah, okay. So you reckon that, if Tim loses this, well, you know what? I think if Tim loses this, he won't give up. I think he still will keep going.
He won't give up. Sure, he'll fight some fights, but I think that's the end of his days as fighting for a world title.
Okay.
31. So you've got to remember, like, these guys fight twice a year, and then you're in that rebuilding phase, and then what if you lose that? That's 4 out of your last 5.
Yeah.
You go not only to the back of the queue, but your bargaining power diminishes so much more.
Okay.
Because people are like, you can't just keep flashing around your surname like daddy's credit card for the rest of your life and picking up fights, which is essentially what he's done for quite a while. I don't want to bash the guy, but you're very lucky to get those world titles in quick succession after losing the first one.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that kind of luxury wouldn't be afforded to just anyone, to be perfectly honest.
Those opportunities, but the opportunities were fluffed. So
yeah. So the fight is actually on Wednesday, and Tim Tszyu, as organised as he is, has his trainer flying in from overseas on Tuesday.
A free sausage sizzle out the front, actually. You see that? He's out sausages. But there's onion, tomato sauce, and barbecue sauce available.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So Tim Tszyu's new trainer, Pedro Diaz, he arrives on Tuesday morning because he's actually training Noel McKaylin, who's fighting Badou Jack this weekend. Joint trainers. But the media blew that up as a big thing, like, oh, how disorganized, this, that, and the other. But they're corresponding via Zoom. There were plenty of months and weeks leading up to this moment where they were training together. You can't listen to the sensationalized media because they'll blow things up deluxe.
Yeah, they talk about something about Tszyu, don't they? You know?
Oh, yeah. What food he eats, what color underpants he's wearing. And
he actually wears blue on the fight day. Do you know that? He wears blue undies.
And brown after he gets knocked out.
Yeah, they change color.
Okay. So, but his demeanor is actually, I know
we're going to talk about Nikita, you know?
Yeah.
Well, we did the episode, who had a better boxing career, Danny Green and Anthony Mundine. If you threw the name Nikita Tszyu in there, he is much lower than those two Australian boxers. But I think we're kind of got a competition that could happen between the two Tszyu brothers.
We could. Listen, for the record, Nikita Tszyu has fought god-awful opposition as far as world standard quality is concerned.
Yeah.
But understandable, and he's fighting to his level. I don't knock it because I think Tim Tszyu is also a cautionary tale not to rush things too much as well, which they kind of did.
Yeah.
But at some stage, your real talent shows, and sometimes there's no excuse for this or reason for that. Sometimes in life, you're just at a certain level and you're not as good as what people thought you were. And that can happen in anything too.
Yes or no, do you think that Nikita Tszyu will get an opportunity at a world title fight?
He will, but I think his team are bringing him along quite slowly and they're going to do it at their own pace. I don't think he's rushing for it.
Yeah.
I have been a little bit concerned about Tim Tszyu. Beautiful. No worries. I have been a little bit concerned about Tim's mannerisms in this fight. Instead of somewhat staying humble.
No, he hasn't been humble. He was.
No, he's tried to be the tough guy.
Yeah. Again, you know,
it doesn't suit his nature.
The Soul Taker, he's the Phoenix. He could have changed that a bit. He could have, you know.
Yeah. So I actually saw an interview because Velasquez's trainer was mouthing off when he first got here, and that's fair enough. They had a little mini impromptu press conference with Velasquez and the trainer, just asking them some questions. And I always find it interesting when the trainer speaks more than the fighter, particularly when they're a very unheralded trainer, because to me that says that the trainer, who isn't very well known at all, is trying to get as much of his 15 minutes of fame as he can.
Yeah.
And secretly, to me, that sends a kind of a signal that he doesn't believe his fighter will win.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
As for Tim, he was talking about some rubbish about Velasquez's trainer being a hyena and Velasquez being the little baby hyena, and he was going to hold the baby up by the hind legs and look into him and shake him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The way he was saying it was kind of cringe, trying to be tough guy. I just don't think the trash talk suits Tim Tszyu.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't think so too. We've spoke about before, he says things, he tried that comment, what's my fucking name?
Fucking name.
Yeah. It just, it fell flat. It fell flat.
No.
The pancake. Didn't work. Wasn't intimidating. Not cool. Not cool.
No, see, because you've got to remember, he's a rich kid that went to Newington College and had a reasonably pretty good education. You can just tell somebody what type of person they are. When they get out of character, when they're inauthentic, it seeps through. People preferred him when he was the real Tim Tszyu, just answering questions that are in line with his personality. That's not to say you can't be a trash talker. Of course you can. That's not to say you can't swear. Of course you can. But people can tell if that's your personality and if that's your background and if that shoe fits. If the shoe doesn't fit, people are going to notice that instantly.
Yeah. Okay, that's Jai. That's Tim, and we talked a little bit about Nikita, and I guess high hopes that he will get a shot. You think he'll get a shot at a world title fight? When do you think that'll be? When?
I wouldn't mind waiting another 2 years.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
I know that sounds like... Look, I've got to say, because his defense is extremely leaky.
Yeah.
He's getting wobbled by domestic guys, domestic sort of standard, domestic level guys. He got leveled... so he got wobbled by a guy called Kriati and Mazudia, who have pretty average records. He also got dropped by Dylan Biggs, who was very much a domestic guy, and he got dropped by Jack Brubaker, again, very domestic guy. The ref actually ruled that a slip. It wasn't a slip. It was actually a knockdown. So Nikita's very lucky there. My point is that his defense is extremely leaky, so you can't expose that to the international level of world-class fighters just yet.
Yeah.
That's why he's got to take his time. The fight with Zerafa is interesting.
Yeah, he'll get a shot because he's got that name. If Tim's multiple opportunities and a lot has been that name, then Nikita will get it too.
Yes.
And I just really hope he can do it. I really do. I like him. I think he sounds like a top bloke in his interviews. He is more humble than Tim. I really, really, really like him. And I've said from the start, and you're like, no, I don't think it. I've said from the start, I reckon Nikita will have a bigger legacy than Tim. And all things are shaping up that will happen. All things are shaping up.
Well, possibly. It's possible. My biggest problem with him is
like, no, I can't see it happen. And now you're saying it's possible.
It's possible, but
I'm not. If he's going to fight in a week or whatever, and we do this, you'll be like, it's more than possible.
No. Listen, I'll give you your flowers. I'm still high on the doubt. I'm still high on the doubt train. Okay. I will definitely give you your flowers. I'll be roses.
What makes it, Joey? What makes it easier is we're not setting the bar very high. Like
no.
Like Tim really. Like if you look at his accomplishments, like it's high, but it's not world.
It's not setting the world on fire. Yeah. No, you're right. 100%. My biggest issue, like I've said with Nikita, is his extremely leaky defense. And that he's really got to fix that up. Yeah. Keeps his head just in a straight line far too often. He's like Tim, doesn't move his head a great deal, sort of moves into the power hand sometimes rather than away from it. I gun to my head, I do have Nikita winning this fight. I don't think it'll be easy. I think it'll be on points. I would not at all be surprised if Michael Zarafa wins it. He's fought much better competition.
When's that? That's next year. It's February or something. Is that right?
Actually, January 26th, which would be Australia Day.
Hey, that's great marketing. That's great.
Yeah, not too bad. I do. Zarafa's fought former world champions like Peter Quillen, Kell Brook, Erislandy Lara, Jeff Horn.
Yeah, he's well known.
And he beat Mundine in the first round in Mundine's last fight. A very expired Anthony Mundine.
Yeah, but like he's credible, but he's at the end of his career. But not just at the end of his career. We're at the end of this show. We have 3 minutes and 15 seconds, and I really want to talk about Jakey Paul and AJ for 3 minutes. Okay.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
Let's talk about it. So Jake Paul is fresh off beating a 58-year-old man that he didn't even need a walking stick, Tyson. He needed one of those, those ones that are 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a walking.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Yeah, and
I thought that
that was embarrassing. But this is not embarrassing. AJ.
No, this is not embarrassing.
If he beats AJ, it will be a huge upset. But I've got something to mention to you. Can you remember when AJ lost to that fat American called
Andy Ruiz?
Yeah. Was that an upset?
That was, but there was a huge difference. Andy Ruiz was a bona fide heavyweight contender.
Okay.
Fake Paul isn't. Let's be honest. Fake Paul is a Disney kid who took the YouTube world by storm. I must admit, he's transitioned into boxing better than I thought. He's beaten some ex-UFC fighters. I know people scoff at that. I hate giving Fake Paul his flowers, but he still beat them. And okay, not great competition, but proper fighters.
Okay, but we got Ruiz,
but won't beat AJ.
Will Ruiz do it? Ruiz did it.
He's a real fighter. Jake Paul is not a real fighter. He's a former Disney kid. Honestly, if Joshua gets to the second round or Jake Paul gets the second round, it's a fail for Joshua.
Yeah, okay. Well, I would love... when is it? It's on in December,
It's on next week. It's on next week.
It is December.
One thing I will say, I'll give Joshua a pass mark if he knocks him out in the second round. Anything beyond the second round is a complete fail because Jake Paul might just be looking to survive the first round to make it to the second. But if he goes beyond the second round, it's a complete fail.
Yeah, well, I'm excited, and I tell you what, though, they will have so many people watch it again. So many. It will be huge.
There is a bastardized part of me that kind of hopes Fake Paul wins.
Yeah, me
for
too.
AJ being so fucking greedy and picking such a soft touch.
For boxing, man. It will be good for boxing.
Imagine the black eye it would give to boxing and how much it would reverberate through the boxing world.
It would be great for boxing because Jake Paul speaks to the youth. Not you, not me, people 30 years younger than us.
He's a fucking tool. What a flop.
Yeah.
That poodle-headed pony.